In this video, you are going to learn why and how to set up goals in Google Analytics. Goals are literally one of the most important things you can set up when it comes to configuring and setting up a Google Analytics account. So first things first, what is a goal? A goal represents a completed activity called a conversion that contributes to the success of a business. As all businesses are different and measure success in different forms, a goal can actually be different things. For example, if you own an e-commerce website, then a goal you may want to track is users on your website who make a purchase. If you can see how many purchases are coming through your website, then you'll be able to understand how well your website is performing. However, if you're not an e-commerce website owner, maybe you're a local business owner or a service-based business, then a goal that you may want to track is when users submit a form on your website or any form of contact information, as you then have all of the details which you can use to market to them and sell your services. If you own a gaming app, then potentially you'd want to set up a goal when users complete a level in the game, as then they're more likely to pay for your additional upsells. A goal is literally any specific action that users take on your website that would be valuable for you to know about. If you don't set up goals, then all you can measure is how many users are coming to your website. And yes, you can be focused on growing that, but if those users aren't completing those specific actions, which are valuable to your business, then it's going to be really hard for you to grow your business going forward. Hopefully now you understand exactly why it's so important to set up goals in your Google Analytics account. It's good to note as well that goals are not automatically set up by Google, as like I just discussed, all businesses measure goals in different forms, so it's actually up to you to go into your account and configure the goals based on your specific business, which of course I'm going to show you exactly how to do in this video right here. Setting up goals is actually quite straightforward. All you need to do is log into your Google Analytics account, then go to admin in the bottom left hand corner, and then go to goals on the right hand side under all website data. Then go ahead and click new goal. And we now have three options which we need to go through to set up the actual goal. We have number 1, the goal setup, number 2, the goal description, and number 3, the goal details. So let's start off with number 1. So the first thing which you need to decide on is if you want to set up a goal from complete scratch, which would be custom, or if you want to use a goal template, which Google has already pre-configured for you. Now, I highly recommend that everyone goes for a templated option, as 99% of people are going to find a pre-filled templated option that applies to their business. For example, we have revenue right here at the top for e-commerce websites. However, just a word of warning, if you do actually own an e-commerce website, then I do not recommend you set up goal tracking to measure how many transactions and sales are coming through your website, as you're going to be far better off just enabling e-commerce tracking, which I'll show you how to do in the next video, by the way. But essentially, there are tons of different goals. As you can see, we have create an account, which comes under acquisition. We have inquiry-based goals, so contact us, read reviews, request a callback, people accessing a live chat, downloading or installing some software, maybe a PDF. We have engagement related goals to do with adding stuff to people's favorites, media plays, subscribing to a newsletter, literally tons and tons of goals that you can select from. Now, what's also really good to know is that the setup process for a lot of these goals are actually the same, so it doesn't really matter which one you select. For example, let's imagine you are a service-based business and the goal you want to track is when people submit a form on your website. You could go for get a callback right here, which is when people request your service or a phone call, or you could also go for a sign up, which is when people actually subscribe to a newsletter, update alert, or join a group. Both of the setup process is exactly the same, which is why I'm saying it doesn't matter. In my instance, I'm going to go for sign up and then click continue. We now need to give our goal a name. I'm going to change my name from sign up and go to contact form submission. The goal slot ID should remain exactly how it is, so don't change anything there whatsoever. And under type, you want to go for destination. And essentially what this is we're going to give Google Analytics a destination URL, which it's going to use to measure when a goal is completed. This is by far the best type to use when it comes to setting up goals for contact forms, as when someone submits a contact form and they land on a thank you page, which is going to be your destination page, well, there's only one way that person could have got to that thank you page, and it's by filling in your contact form. So go ahead and click continue once you've selected destination. And now what we need to do is put in the destination URL. So this is going to be the URL of your thank you page, which people land on once they submit in your contact form. Now, not all contact forms actually redirect to a thank you page. So if your form doesn't actually do that, then what you will need to do is go into the backend of your website and get that configured just to make sure you are tracking things accurately. If you are not sure what your thank you page URL is, then the best thing to do is to actually fill in the form as if you are a user. And once you land on that thank you page, simply go ahead and copy the URL and enter it in this box right here. Now, you don't want to enter in the full URL. As you can see, Google actually state that in the text below. You want to go ahead and just enter in the part after the /, which is going to be something like thank you in my instance. And then the last thing which you'll want to go ahead and do is actually assign a monetary value to the conversion. Now, you don't have to do this if you don't actually know how much each goal is actually worth to you. However, if you do have some indication, then it's going to be quite useful, as it's going to provide more tangible data in your Google Analytics account. Now, let me give you some rule of thumbs of what you should actually use when it comes to assigning a value to each goal in your account. So here is my general rule of thumb when it comes to assigning goal values. If you own an e-commerce website, you should leave it as it is and put no value. If your goal is classified as lead generation, which would include form submissions, like in my instance, then what you should put down for your goal value is your expected revenue per lead. If you're setting up goals for email subscribers, then typically an average email subscriber is going to be worth somewhere between $3 to $10. So on the lower end, as of course, not all of your email subscribers are actually going to take action and buy your product or service. If you're tracking engagement, then that's going to be super low. I recommend you put down $1 or less. So that is my rule of thumb. If you're in the lead generation category and you're struggling to figure out what revenue you can expect per lead that fills in your form on the website, then a pretty solid strategy you can actually follow is to work backwards. So let's imagine your sales team closes 10% of people who submit a form inquiry, and the average amount of money a person spends with your business is $1,000. Then you might assign your goal value as $100 per lead, which of course is 10% of $1,000. However, in contrast, if only 5% of form submissions actually result in a sale, then you might only assign $50 to your goal. I hope that gives you an idea of exactly how you can work backwards to figure out what value you should be putting down in your account. However, like I said, if you don't know what value you should be using, then it's better to just leave it as off as default. However, once you're happy and you finish setting up all 3 steps of the goal process, all you need to do is go ahead and click save. And now you can see our goal has been created and it is currently turned on and recording any of the specific actions which we've just configured. In summary, setting up goals is something you definitely want to be doing in your account. It's going to give you more data and let you understand exactly how well your website is performing rather than just seeing how many users your website is getting. That is it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it and I'll see you in the next one.